thanks Jeff so much for having me here. This book, The Disorder, came out in July, and I've read a ton from the book as well this year. I'm really excited that this is going to be my last reading for 2013. So I'm going to read a few poems from the book and then some new stuff. The book is called The Disordered, and the book is a series of poems in which every poem is based on a different psychological disorder. So I'm just going to read a few of those to start. This one is based on an eating disorder. It's called nervosa. The numbers are in the air. I am the scale and empty stomach. Why are my jaw shut? My calloused knees are grieving again. I am a mannequin on the bathroom floor. I clean out the fridge with my tongue. I am a bloated balloon with no periods. For your consideration, take notice of my plate. I am the stolen bites in the dark corner. I swallow every morsel like shame, like a stick of butter bathed in remorse. The calories are in the air. I am loose teeth and a handful of hair. I stuff myself with madness, with sweets. I am terrified of discovery. My heart races with the company of food. I graze among the guests. I am electrical cords slithering down the throat. Nothing remains but swamps and slimmer waists. I am broken blood vessels and blue lips. The choir in the bowl sings again. I am closer to the bone. I am the standing ovation. The mirror never lies. So this whole book started because I'm basically a borderline hypochondriac. And so I wrote this, which was the first poem I ever wrote for the collection. It's called The Hypochondriac. I wake up from naps bloated with broken knuckles. My spine tingles when I stare at goldfish. Sometimes there's a pain in my side when I cook meatloaf. My face is always flushed when I enter a bingo hall. My throat gets sore when dogs bark at me. My knees are stiff 4 days a week. I yawn excessively, even though I've never seen anyone yawn before. My legs swell up when I shower in the afternoon. I lose a bit of hair riding in a taxi. After board games, I limp for 5 straight hours. The tips of my toes get discolored in February. I get shortness of breath eating at a salad bar. My vomit is always blue. I can't stop coughing when I listen to morning radio. Whenever it snows, I have back pains. My eyes bulge anytime I'm around squirrels. I twist my ankle anytime I speak in public. My skin gets itchy when I sit on hardwood floors. Reading the Sunday paper gives me the hiccups. My face twitches on birthdays. I always fracture a bone after shopping in thrift stores. I have difficulty swallowing food in the spring. Every time I blink, I think I'm dying. I blink at least 16 times a minute. So that's what started that whole collection. I'm going to read some stuff from, I have a chapbook coming out in the spring called Backhanded Compliments and Other Ways to Say I Love You. And it's a collection of love poems. So I'm going to read a few from that and then end with some new stuff I'm working on. And the love poems, some are sad, some are happy. I'll let you decide which is which. This is called A History of Your Histories. Say I start a scroll for you. Say I handed you the needle. Say you stitched for me until your fingers gave in. Say you gave me all the words you had in this life. Say we found the skylight hidden in the library, but couldn't look up. Say I let you buy me over and over again. Say I felt 1,000 small puddles gathering inside me. Say my arms were set to stun, and I reached for you with clouds. Say my stacks of books wait for you by the door. Say I'm trying to smell your histories, one grocery store at a time. Say I don't trust tarot cards, but I trust your toes. Say I never went to your reading and started a fire instead. Say my bucket is full of holes. Say the flames follow me even into my bed. Say we came for the stars, but stayed for the bees. Say I surrender, and say you do too. Board game affair. Like the twister that spun from your mouth and crashed into me the first time our words said hello. Like the clue you hid beneath your tongue and couldn't wait for me to discover. Like the monopoly between our bodies, the slow boardwalk to and from your door, the hotels and houses aching between my fingers that I wanted to build for you. Like the Scrabble to find the perfect vowels, to fit the perfect word, to fill the perfect sentence, to create a paragraph so precise that we took down the moon. Like the chutes and ladders and mazes and tunnels and shafts and passages and burrows and puzzles and webs I had to crawl through just to get a little bit closer. Like the battleship scars I peeled off of you one by one, layer by layer. Like the risk you took putting ants in your mouth to show me you cared about my poems. Like the life I thought we'd have together. Like the mousetrap you set up by the windows and the doors To know I always will be by your side, like the Parcheesi way you threw plates at the wall to tell me we needed to talk, like the operation we wanted to get to stitch your lips to my ears, or your eyes to my eyes, like the sorry I could never quite seem to prove to you, like the way we wished perfection was something we could actually grasp, like the last time you leaned to me and whispered Yahtzee into my ear and really, truly meant it. I'd like to dedicate this poem to all the girls, because I see I'm being recorded, to all the girls that put me in this place. It's called Friend Zone. If by chance I find your dress asleep by the riverbank, I'll let it be. Let it rest like the loaves of bread on the kitchen counter we could never swallow. The bread was never our home, the mason jars never our church. Again, another fireplace we put out of business. Because we both knew from the beginning how the path looked. When I dusted the trail with paper cranes and only got guilt, only got more rainwater I didn't know where to place. I staked a claim to your wings, hoping you would sit beside me and give me faith again. Faith in each bite of broken teeth you fed me. Faith in the way we could stare at the ceiling quietly and turn the chandeliers into art. You asked me to give you this, but instead, I gave you that. I gave you a city darker than your prayers, and splinters on your heels, and excuses, and a fleet of hot air balloons with no heat and no directions, and enough trinkets to fill up a whale, and not enough ways to tell you your body was more than just a mountain I couldn't stop writing about. Your eyes jog away, and I hear it in your hair, that there is nothing left to harvest. And you know what owns me tonight and tomorrow, so you don't come home, and you never will. Okay, these last two poems are from a book I'm working on. I've been trying very hard to keep my poetry movement going. I started a movement here in San Francisco called the Bromanticism Poetry Movement. And so I've been writing love poems to my romantic heroes. So I'm going to read two of them tonight. This is the first poem, and it's to a very wonderful man. You might know him. His name is Paul Rudd. So this is called Love Letter to Paul Rudd. I know I love you, man. How you can be the dreamy, self-righteous stepbrother, or the nice guy, or the nervous, bumbling fool, or the cranky salesman, or the confident womanizer, and I buy it every single time. How you're charismatic enough to join the cast of Friends and actually fit in. I want you to know, Paul, you inspire me. I started the Bromanticism Poetry Movement in your honor. I wanted to bring the spirit of your boyish charms to the line, to the poem, to the page. Paul, your over-exaggerated facial expressions and body movements can make me laugh harder than a million words ever could. The last time we were together, you were slapping the bass, speaking in your reggae accent, but you sounded like a leprechaun, and I didn't want it any other way. I bet you really do play the bass and listen to Rush. I bet you're out there now, somewhere, sharing a cold one with your wingmen. I'll never be able to understand how you haven't aged in 15 years, or how your sense of humor really snuck up on the world. Promise me you'll be the heartthrob that would rather be funny. Promise me your self-awareness and Colgate smile. Promise me my laughter. Paul, promise that we'll never, ever grow up. So this last one, if you guys know me, and my friends know me, my friend Tim will know, I'm obsessed with Kanye West, and I've been trying for a year to write a love poem for Kanye West. And then I realized the only way you can really write about Kanye West is to use Kanye West's own words. So everything you hear in this poem is actually from an interview he did with a hip-hop morning show called The Breakfast Club. So I pulled all the language from that. It's called, In a Past Lifetime, Maybe I'd Be a Playwright, Kanye West on Kanye West. Mentally enslaved, born artists, born free, they want to box me in a music box. Music is fleeting, a modern-day poet, rap, a chamber of my thoughts. The more and more I create, the younger and younger I feel. Eve made Adam eat an apple. It became illegal to be naked. Ain't nothing real in this world. We can do whatever. Artists, going to hit you in the chest. Run up that mountain. Listen to me. Go to any of these arenas. Play one on nobody, like Michelangelo, because I'm the new version. A rant, a visual stream of consciousness, blowing people's ears out, too harsh, my technique. To move in a room full of vultures, I needed to learn that God wants me to give, or else he would have killed me, or else I wouldn't have come back from a cause. To Mandela the buildings, growing and learning, still a shackle, to take white trash t-shirts and make it. Don't have a problem with looking, everyone in the car with me like a listening party for the world. This is space, this level of fame, just a black man in America, an interracial relationship. Creative dreams composed. If I could get in so much trouble for telling the truth, what are you being told the rest of the time? I got a season and its product. My voice travels mountains, turned all the way. Believe in me, believe in you. Fast forward. Speaking to the future, 10 years ahead mentally, trapped in today's time. I'll crack you a smile for 2013, but I'm cracking you a frown for 2023. Still dreaming, mark my words, see my execution. I put that accident on my face. Before you really get everything you want, sometimes you have to shake the cage. Thank you.
Anhvu Buchanan, and we have copies of The Disorder at the front desk, so please pick one up on your way out. And I think we have one more for that.